In this video, we discuss a new topic, that is bending of a cyclist. The topic is bending of a cyclist. In examination, the question is asked, why a cyclist bends inward when he passes through a curved lane. When a cyclist bends inward when he passes through a curved path. So we see the derivation. So when a cyclist goes around a curved path, when a cyclist when a cyclist goes round a curved path, a centripetal force is required. When a cyclist goes round a curved path, a centripetal force is required. And we know that force of friction provides the necessary centripetal force. Force of friction provides necessary centripetal force. So when a cyclist goes around a curved path, a centripetal force is required. A centripetal force is required. And force of friction between the tires and the road force of friction between the tires and the road are too small to provide necessary centripetal force. So when a cyclist goes round a curved path, a centripetal force is required, and we know that the force of friction provides a necessary centripetal force. But in this case, since the force of friction acting between the tires of the cycle and the road is too small, the force of friction between the road and the tires of the cycle is too small to provide the necessary centripetal force. And centripetal force is provided by the force of friction, but in case of cyclist, the force of friction between the road and the tires are too small, and that's why the cyclist bends inward. The cyclist bends inwards to provide the necessary centripetal force. So this is a cyclist which leans at an angle theta. The cyclist leans and angle theta with the vertical, and the weight of the cyclist acting vertically downward. Mg is the weight of the cyclist. Mg is the weight of the cyclist acting vertically downward, and R is the normal reaction. R is the normal reaction perpendicular to the surface. And if this angle is theta, cyclist bends at an angle theta. Cyclist leans an angle theta with the vertical to provide the necessary centripetal force. If this angle is theta, then this angle will also be theta, because this is the angle made with the vertical, and this is also the angle made with the vertical. So these two angles are the corresponding angles, and R is inclined at an angle of theta with the horizontal, with the vertical. So there must be two components of R. One is horizontal component, which is R sine theta, and another is the vertical component, R cos theta, because theta angle is making with the vertical. R makes an angle theta with the vertical. So vertical component will be R cos theta, and the horizontal component is R sin theta. And this horizontal component of normal reaction, R sin theta, this horizontal component of the normal reaction, R sin theta, provides the necessary centripetal force to the cyclist. So that is why a cyclist going round a curve, that is why a cyclist going round a curve, that is why a cyclist going round a curve leans inward, leans inward, because then the horizontal component, because then the horizontal component of normal reaction R sin theta provides the necessary centripetal force, provides the necessary centripetal force. So when the cyclist bends at an angle theta with the vertical, then the horizontal component of normal reaction R, which is R sin theta, provides the necessary centripetal force. R sin theta provides the necessary centripetal force. So R sin theta must be equals to mv square by R. Centripetal force acts towards the center of the curve. So R sin theta is equals to mv square by R. This is the formula for centripetal force. R sin theta, the horizontal component of the normal reaction, balances the centripetal force mv square by R, and the vertical force R cos theta is equals to mg. r cos theta equals to mg. Name it second number equation and divide first by second. Divide first by second. So we get r sin theta upon r cos theta equals to mb square by r upon mg. So m gets cancelled, r and r cancel. So we get tan theta equals to v square upon rg. So the angle by which the cyclist bends to the vertical, tan theta equals to v square by rg, and the value of theta is tan inverse v square by rg. So this is the angle theta by which the cyclist bends with a vertical going round a curved path. Going round a curved path. The angle bend, the angle which cyclist makes with a vertical. So the question will be asked that when a cyclist going round a curved path bends inwards. So the answer will be when the cyclist goes round a curved path, a centripetal force is required, and we know that the centripetal force required is given by the force of friction between the tires and the road. But in the case of cyclist, the force of friction acting between the tires and the road are too small. Therefore, a cyclist going round a curved path leans inward at an angle theta with the vertical, because the horizontal component of normal direction provides the necessary centripetal force. Horizontal component of normal direction provides the necessary centripetal force. Then r sin theta equals to mv square by r. The horizontal force r sin theta is balanced by centripetal force, and r cos theta equals to mg. And by dividing first by second, we get the value of theta, the angle by which the cyclist bends inwards to the vertical. Now we discuss few numericals based on the concept of centripetal force. The first question is, a bend in a level road has a radius of 100 meters. A bend in a level road. A bend in a level road has a radius of 100 meters. There is a bend in a level road of radius 100 meters. Find the maximum speed which a car turning. Find the maximum speed. Find the maximum speed which a car turning this bend, which a car turning this bend. Find the maximum speed which a car turning this bend may have without SQD. May have without SQD. May have without SQD. May have without skidding, and the coefficient of friction between the road and the tire is 0.8. We have given the coefficient of friction mu 0.8. The coefficient of friction between the road and the tire is given 0.8. So we know the formula for maximum velocity. The formula for maximum velocity, we derive the relation when a car moves on a banked road. When a car moves on a banked road, then the formula for maximum velocity. Already we have derived the formula for maximum velocity equals to V maximum equals to under root of mu rg. Maximum velocity V equals to under root of mu rg, and the value of mu is given. The value of mu is 0.8. The value of r is 100 meter, and the value of g is 9.8. G acceleration due to gravity, which is 9.8 meter per second square. And by solving this, we get the velocity 28 meters per second. So directly we have to use the formula for maximum velocity when a car moves on a level road. When a car moves on a level road, then the maximum safe speed of the car is given by V maximum equals to under root of mu rg. The value of mu is given, radius is given, and g we will take 9.8. So the maximum safe speed of the car will be 28 meters per second. Question number 2. A train has to negotiate a curve. A train has to negotiate a curve. A train has to negotiate. A train has to negotiate a curve of 400 meters. A train has to negotiate a curve of 400 meters. By how much should the outer rail be raised? By how much? By how much should the outer rail be raised? By how much should the outer rail be raised with respect to the inner rail? With respect to the inner rail for a speed of 48 km per hour. For a speed of 48 kilometer per hour. For a speed of 48 kilometer per hour, and the distance between the rails is 1 meter. The distance between the rails is 1 meter. So we have given that a train has to negotiate a curve of 400 meter. 400 meter is given radius of curve. So by how much should the outer rail be raised? By how much should the outer rail be raised with respect to the inner rail for the speed of 48 kilometer per hour? And the distance between the rails is 1 meter. So let h be the height through which the outer rail be raised. Let h be the height by which the outer rail is raised. H be the height through which the outer rail be raised. And the length, the distance between the rails is 1 meter. We have given the length 1 meter. The distance between the rails, and the outer rail is raised by h meter. Now the speed is given. V is equals to 48 kilometer per hour. So we convert this speed in meter per second. So 48 into 1000 divided by 60 into 60. So this is 40 by 3 meter per second. 40 by 3 meter per second, and the radius is given r is 400 meter, and length between two rails is also given 1 meter. And let this angle is theta. The outer rail is raised by height h at an angle of theta from the inner rail. So sine theta, we know the formula for sine theta, perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Sine theta equals to perpendicular upon hypotenuse, h upon n. And for very small angle theta, sine theta is approximately equals to tan theta. For a very small angle theta, sine theta is approximately equals to tan theta. So sine theta is equals to approximately equals to tan theta. The value of sine theta is h by l, and the value of tan theta, just we have derived the bending of a cyclist. Tan theta equals to v square upon rg. Tan theta equals to v square upon rg, and we have to calculate the value of height. So height is given by h equals to v square into l upon rg. V square 40 by 3 into 40 by 3, and the length is 1 meter, r is 400, and the value of g we can take 10 meter per second square. The value is of g not given, so we'll take 9.8 meter per second square, and after solving we get 0.0454. So h equals to 0.0454 meter. So this is the height by which the outer rail be raised from the ground, 0.0454 meter. So we use the formula tan theta equals to v square by rg. and let h be the height by which the outer rail is raised, and the angle is theta. So sine theta is approximately equals to tan theta. Sine theta is h by l, and the formula for tan theta is v square by rg. We eliminate the value of h, then we solve, we get the result.